Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us this morning in this session of the Spring WeYield webinar, where I will present you the latest innovation of the product and innovation team. I'll try to keep it short, maybe 30 minutes. We will have time for questions and answers. I am Christian Caderet. I am the CTO of WeYield. I have a PhD in computer science, after which I created my own software development company where I worked for a few years. And I joined the fintech, a fintech in the bank industry for 3 years. And for 2 years now, I work at WeYield as a CTO. And my special focus is to try to develop innovative products and improve the overall user experience of the apps. So first, I have a small question for you. What mythological figure do you see in this picture? Do you recognize the mythological figure that is present on the screen? You have the ability to chat. In the top right-hand corner, you have the ability to chat. So for me, this is a mythological figure of Sisyphus. So Sisyphus is the Greek man who is cursed to push his boulder uphill. And when the boulder reaches uphill, it tumbles down and Sisyphus has to start all over again. Why do I take this image? Because when I look at the work of a revenue manager, I really feel that it is exactly the same. As a revenue manager, you have to anticipate the future, look at departure weeks, departure dates, rental durations for car group, car types, on specific stations, on specific zone, regions, and you have to choose a price according to the utilization you have, according to the market figures, and you have to check all of these parameters to change and adapt your prices. And then the next week, sometimes the next day, the market has evolved. The competitors have changed, your utilization has changed, and you have to adjust your prices and your strategy all over again, all over and all over and all over. And it seems like an endless task. So at WeYield, we are here to bring you clarity and help you save time, because the task of the work of a revenue manager is extremely time consuming. And one of our main focus is to help you save time so you can focus on the most important decisions. So today I will talk to you about 3 new modules that we have developed. An insights module that helps you anticipate and monitor the future. We also have worked on existing modules in the apps that help you understand better the past, which are the tree maps, the 2 tree maps modules. There are three tree maps modules, but I will focus on 2 of them. And the tool that is the most valuable to analyze and understand both the past and the future is the reporting tool. So really what you will get in this webinar today is an insight of our new module, of our innovation. And also you will learn how to better use existing tools and and really get the most out of the tools in the apps in order to analyze better your activity and take better decisions. That is always the goal that we have in mind when we bring you new features. So first, let's talk about the insights module. So just a quick poll, a quick question. Did you ever have the feeling that you missed on opportunities because of a lack of time? So yes, you also feel that you lack time and that you miss on opportunities. So we know that we have developed in the past an alert system which exists in the apps and that you can set up, but it also needs manual settings. So again, you have many things to do, and on top of that, you need to take time to set up an alert system. So of course, we recommend that you do that because the alert system can really be tuned to your specific needs in terms of utilization versus last year, utilization variation versus last year, or rate shopping. So take a look at the module. But we also thought that as we process your data every day, we could, in an automatic fashion, look at your activity and try to find relevant information and just alert you automatically about some key figures. So why do I speak about key figures? It's in order not to overwhelm you with lots of automatic alerts every day, because you won't look at them if there are too many. So we have to make a selection. So how did we make this selection for your personal assistant? So this Insights module was really thought as a personal assistant that once a week will look at your activity on the most impactful elements of your activity and try to find some discrepancies to alert you on. So some of them you might be aware of, but some of them maybe not. So how do we select those automatic alerts? We look at the most important weeks of activity in the 6 coming months. How do we know it's an important week of activity? We compare with last year. That's the only comparison we have. And we select only top weeks of activity matching last year's activity. Then we look at the highest activity stations, car groups, and companies. At the moment, we only take those 3 dimensions because we don't want to overwhelm you with alerts. For these station, car group, companies and the high activity weeks, we will compute the important milestones of booking pace again last year. So how did the booking pace go for those key, this most contributing in terms of revenue station, car group, companies? How was the booking pace last year for the high activity weeks? And we look at the milestones. When last year you reached 10%, 30%, 50%, 70%. And we look if this year, in the coming week, were you supposed to reach a particular milestone? If yes, are you in advance versus last year, or are you late versus last year? Because if you are in advance versus last year, that means that you are taking reservations very quickly. So maybe maybe it would be good to increase price. Maybe it is your strategy. Again, we do not judge. We just alert you about a potential thing to correct. So if you are in advance in activity, maybe it's time to increase prices. If you are late in your booking pace, maybe you must reduce prices. Very basic. You all know that. Of course, this is tailored to look at and compare with last year. So during this uncertainty period, it's not the most relevant, but for the clients that have activated this Insights module, we begin to have the alerts of the summer. And of course, this summer will be a key period of activity of the recovery. And we hope that that this summer's activity will be at least comparable to last year's summer activity, and we hope even better. So in the coming 2 or 3 months, when there was complete lockdown everywhere, we know there is no point in comparing. And anyway, it's a low activity week for last year. But for the coming summer, it was high activity weeks last year. It should be high activity weeks this year. So it is quite relevant to compare what's happening what you have on the book for this summer versus what you had last year. So how does it look like? It's a new module. It's quite comparable with the design of the existing ones. So you have an Insights module, and you have several insight cards that are displayed on the screen. So I will review all the elements that are displayed. So the key insight is about a late booking pace or in advance booking pace. So here we are looking at an airport station, and we will show the most important figures. On the airport, you are 100% late compared to 2019, because on this demo account, we have changed the comparison year to 2 years ago, which is another feature of the apps. Of course, it's an airport. Maybe it is closed this year. So again, the insights are automated, the rules are automated. Maybe it's relevant, maybe it's not relevant. That's not the point. We make an alert, an automated alert about that. So you are 100% down compared to 2 years ago for a specific week of departure, from 9th of August to 15th of August. Then we give you the second most important figures. So actually you have 0% utilization. 2 years ago, at the same time, you already had 5% utilization. And it was 1/4 of the final amount for that period. And then we give you a revenue difference. So what is the actual impact on your business? You are behind by 245 euros. So again, this is a special period. It is a demo account. It's not those figures that are the most important, but to understand what we display and what we want to bring your attention on. What other things you can do? You were all expecting the green box to go down, but actually went a bit up. So we are computing insights for station, companies, car group again, and you can sort them because so here there is a focus on 2 of them, but sometimes you can have 12 or 20. And in order to ease your reading of the insights, you have sorting options. You can sort by the revenue impact, so how much % of revenue you are behind or in advance, by the revenue impact, activity impact again, and the date proximity. Is the insight very close in the coming weeks, or is it an insight for the next 3 or 4 months? You can order by ascending or descending order on these 3 filters to ease your navigation on the page. And like every other operation module page, you have the ability to filter and look at specific car group, station, or company, again, to ease the filtering if we computed many insights for the week. And last but not least, you have these 2 quick action buttons. So if the insight catch your attention, okay, there's something I was not aware of. Let's dive into more precise figures. You have 2 options. Check the booking pace. So this will open the booking pace set on the airport station for the departure week of 9th of August to 15th of August. And then you will have the complete booking pace like usual, and you will be able to see exactly what is your rhythm this year, what it was your rhythm last year, and you will have the exact comparison of the booking paces. And for the clients that also have the rate checker activated, there is the search for a survey button. And when you click it, we will look if there is a recent survey, so less than 2 weeks, that matches the exact data of the insight. So airport station and week of departure, day of departure on the first day of the period. So this means that as many insights concern the summer period now, you must have rate shopping activated for the summer. And if we find a survey, great, we tell you, okay, I found a survey from the 16th of March, and then you just click on the button and it opens the survey, and then you can also have the information about your prices and your competitor prices. So the insight is really the start. We alert you about something, and then you have the ability to dive in more precisely, whether with the booking pace, whether with the price survey. So it really links all the modules of the apps, piloting modules, and price module. And there are some last small options that we will cover. Here you have the ability to upvote or downvote the insight. At the moment, it only saves your vote, but the algorithm doesn't take them into account yet. But this is because the insight algorithm is the same for everybody. But we know that everything will not be relevant for you. So you can use the upvote, downvote to tell us, okay, this insight doesn't interest me. I don't want insight about the airport station. I already micromanage my airport station. I know everything. I don't need to be alerted. Or great, I didn't know about this car group that I was late. Give me some more insight about that. So at the moment, it only saves your vote, and in the future, it will be used to make some tailor-made insight for team by team with the same base algorithm and with your preferences. You also have the ability to archive the insight. So you can use the cross that is here, and it will archive the insight for the week. So these insights are only available for a week. Next week, we compute new insights and we display new insights. You don't have access to last week's insight. But during the same week, you can say, okay, this insight I know of, I have treated it, or it doesn't interest me, I don't want it displayed. It goes into the archived insights, and then you can still come back to it later in the week. So as a conclusion, again, this was meant to be a simple module. So we want to use the same algorithm for everybody. We focus on the key element of your activity, higher activity weeks, higher contributing car group companies. We look at the booking pace and we select some milestones. And okay, this week, do you match any of those milestones? Yes, no. There can be weeks where we generate no insight because none of the above conditions were met. Other weeks, we will generate 5, 10, 20, it depends. The goal is not, again, to overload you with informations, but each week try to find some key elements, some key discrepancy, and make and alert you about that. From our first beta tester, everybody wanted to make custom adjustments. Okay, we want that. It would be great to add this and that. No, we want to keep it simple. Of course, there were also some remarks, and everybody, almost everybody in the beta tester agreed on this improvement and asked for this improvement. So we made this improvement for everybody, because at WeYield, we want to make something that is useful for everybody and the same for everybody. So if you this insight is activated for some of you, it can be activated on demand if you don't have it yet. So if you want it activated, ask your CSM to activate it. Start using it and give us some feedback so we can improve. Again, if there is a general demand to improve computations or improve the display, then we will make it evolve. And don't forget that you have also, when you have tailor needs, you have the alert module. Use the alert module. Okay, do you have any questions about the insights module? Feel free to post questions. So again, in the top right-hand corner, you have the ability to ask questions.
Or you can keep it for the end if you want. Okay.
Okay, no question. We will go on to the next module. The tree maps module. So here is a tree map we are working on. So the new tree map display. No, I'm joking. This is far too complicated and complex, but it's a true tree map about some internet mapping. So I really like the image. And I think we all like the tree map presentation, because it's a very good module to be able to analyze many segments at once. And we have 2 dimensions of display for each segment. We have the size of the box and we have the color of the box. So graphically, it's really easy to get a glimpse of many intricate and complex figures at the same time. Quick poll again. We have a poll for this segment also, for this module also. Did you feel more need recently to analyze business variations over the last 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. So because of this crisis, do you think that you need to really focus on, okay, what reservations and cancellations did I take yesterday? Or when you log in on Monday, you really want to see what happened during the weekend, and you say, okay, I would really like to say what happened during the past 2 days. How did my business evolve in the last two days? Is it something, is it a need that increased in the past 12 months because of the crisis?
So right now we are 100% for yes. Yes, the need to analyze business variation of yes. Everybody reply yes, yes, yes. It's only, oh no, it's down now. Not interested over the last 1 or 2 days, but otherwise it's 80% yes. Okay. I need to analyze these business variations.
Thank you for your replies. We expected that, and we really had the feedback over the last 12 months. You really asked us, how can I understand? Many of you asked us, how can I analyze better the activity I took yesterday or in the last few days? And so we added modules and pages over the last 12 months, and now we really focused on how you can analyze better through tree maps the activity of the last few days. So just a reminder, this is a tree map module in the app. So it's for those of you that have the piloting module activated, of course. And you have the piloting module with the different submenus, and you have a tree maps submenu. And then it gives you access to the tree maps page. So we have 3 tree maps. And now we will focus on the last 7 days tree map. So it's called like this because when we created this module, we gave you the opportunity to analyze your business and compare it versus the last what you had 7 days ago. And now we have given you the possibility, as we will see, to select freely a date of comparison. But just to recap, what does this figure show? This figure shows you the amount of days of utilization and RPD that you have on the book for the departure date between the 19th of March, we have here, to the 23rd of September. So this is the checkout interval. And we show you how many days you have on the book, utilization, RPD, and we compare these figures versus what you had on the book 7 days ago, but for exactly the same checkout date, checkout interval, from 19th of March to 23rd of September. So the amount of days that you have now is displayed, and you have the variation. You took 8% in amount of days, 2 points of utilization, and 4% of RPD. And below the tree map, the size of the boxes is how many days for this particular filter, and the color is the percentage of variation of this element versus the last 7 days. So, of course, in this last 7 days tree map, we expect all the boxes to be green, from slight green to heavy green. Sometimes you have cancellation and you can have a red box, but overall, this tree map must be quite green everywhere. And so we added the possibility to select. So by default, it's still comparing to the last 7 days ago, but we have added the possibility for you to compare from 1 day ago to 14 days ago. So here I will select 2 days ago. I have selected 2 days ago. What happened? So the first thing that happened is that my green color boxes are much more lighter green. Why? As you can see, so the green color is lighter. The amount of days utilization and RPD has not changed, because for this departure period, today on the books, I still have the same amount of days utilization and RPD. What has changed is my comparison. So the color is a lighter green, And we can see the comparison figure. So for the number of days compared to 2 days ago, I only gained 2% when I had 8% versus 7 days ago. Utilization and RPD, same thing. We have a new variation figure that is less than the variation we had versus 7 days ago. Quite straightforward, but just a recap so we understand right the figures that are displayed. So this is already available. You can go on your tree map module and choose freely to compare versus one day ago. How did my activity change versus 1 day ago for this interval date? On the screenshot, we were in automatic. But of course, you can select a date range like you do anytime for a specific 2 weeks Easter holiday or for the 2 months of summer. And you can see how much activity you have gained over the last 1 day, 2, 3, and so on. You can really dive in and select and understand better how your business is evolving. You are free. So of course, for the 1 day tree map, the variation will be very small, but from time to time, there may be something very green, and you say, okay, why did I take so much activity? Maybe my price is not right. Maybe you will have some red, and you will say, okay, I have cancellations. That means I must adapt my strategy. So again, we bring you precise figures, and you do the analyzing and the decision making. So this is for the last 7 days tree map. And now we will focus on the transaction tree map. So this is the third tree map. Again, what does it show? It shows how much activity, how your activity was impacted by the reservation that were made in the last 7 days. We are in automatic mode. So at the time I made this screenshot, the past was from the 20th of March to the 26th of March, 7 days in the past, and we show how many days and what RPD and what basic revenue was gained for the transactions that you took over these last 7 days. But the departure date can be any time in the future. It can even be in 2022 for all we care. That's not relevant for this tree map. We only look at the activity, reservations, and cancellations over the past. And we show you how it is compared this time versus last year at the same time. That's why we have a lot of red boxes. Again, on the demo account, we are set up to compare versus 2 years ago, so 2019, which was a normal year of activity. So all the boxes are red. All the figures are down. So the days are 68% down. The RPD is better, good. And the total revenue is still, of course, down. So by default, you can adapt how many days in the past you want to include in your period, so you can measure the impact of any days, any interval you want in the past. You can adapt the checkout dates in the future will only impact the dates boxes in the tree map. So you can still look at some departure interval from now on until a limit in the future. And you will have access to this departure interval, checkout interval, on the dates boxes of the tree map. But if you want to micro-analyze how your activity was impacted in the last few days, you have a new navigation menu that allows you to select, okay, I want to see exactly how my business was impacted on that day. So you can select one particular day. So let's say the 25th of March. And then automatically, we select the reference date of the 25th. We adapt the beginning period to begin on the 25th. And that way, we will display you only reservation and cancellation made on the 25th of March. And you understand precisely what happened on the 25th. Is it simple? Do you have questions about these modules? So
Feel free
again,
to ask on the top right question box.
These two features, these two evolutions of the tree maps were pushed last week and the 2 weeks before, so it's already available in the apps. Maybe some of you already use them. It's quite simple to use. We hope it is simple to use, and it helps you analyze precisely, okay, yesterday, what transaction did I take with a transaction tree map, or yesterday, how did it overall impact this checkout interval with the last 7 days tree map? Very simple. We hope it's simple to use, and it's you decide what you want to analyze more in depth. Next and last module, evolution, the reporting module. So, of course, our reporting module doesn't look like that. We've tried to make things more simple. But I took this illustration because we have two axes of reporting. And again, last question. Do you often need to analyze your reporting by 2 dimensions? And you would like to cross geographical dimension with a car group dimension, for example, or geographical with company or segments. Do you often need to analyze your reporting by 2 dimensions? Is it something you often need to do? Emmanuel, if you can, I will publish. Okay. I've published a poll, so maybe you can answer while I go on. So this is an older feature that was released. So again, I hope many of you have seen it and are already using it. Small reminder, the reporting module has its dedicated icon in the menu. So you can access it if you have the reporting module, the piloting module activated.
Christian, just before the details, so we have 83% yes. We need to analyze multiple
great
dimensions.
To hear that means we were spot on when we released this feature. But again, for years, many of you kept asking us, it's great, the reporting is great, but I really need, when I have a geographical tab that is selected, I really need to dive in and then combine with my car groups and so on. So it's no surprise you need it and are using it, because we know it's a need you had, and you told us, and as many of you told us, we take into account that it's a general need for many customers, and we implemented it. So it will be quick. It's very straightforward. When you are in the reporting, now you have an arrow that allows you to select. So here we are on the station reporting. And for any station, we can select a secondary dimension, just clicking on the arrow. You have then a second menu that appears. And for all the other dimensions available, you can create a combined report by clicking. And then I've selected my car groups. So on the airport station, I will have the detail of the activity for each car group. Very simple, very straightforward, and I hope you are already using it. And just to help you in your reporting tasks and save time again, you also have 2 options to export your reporting data. You can export the general and by default display of your report without the secondary dimension, using the advanced menu and select export reporting data. So the reporting data is really what you see on the interface, and you can export it as a CSV. If you change the columns and use other indicators, it will export the data that is on the screen. So it's really what you see is what you get. And if you have selected a combined filter for a specific element of your reporting, you have the second option here on the left to export just this subset of the reporting with the combined data. I think it's very simple, and I hope you are already using it. So all in all, with all these features, we really hope that you can save time, and that using the apps, you can, at the end of the day, you have time to rest a little bit. So during my presentation, I told you about a new module that we developed, the Insight module, that can be summed up as an automated alert system. We already have an alert system that you can set up in the apps, and we encourage you to use it. But still, we want to help you save time, and we want to attract your attention on specific points of your activity that might be of interest to you. So if you subscribe to the Insights module once a week, you will have a report with some discrepancies between this year activity and last year activity, and then you can check them. It can be very quick. It can take 2 minutes. I say, okay, this I know, this I know, this I know. If I have something specific to look at, then you can open the booking page or check for a survey that is matching, so you can have all the parameters to understand why there is a discrepancy and take the relevant action. And you have also learned how to use the tree map modules, the last 7-day tree map and the transaction tree map, in order to analyze more in depth the variations of activity in the last few days and really understand how your activity is evolving day by day, because we know this is a need in these high uncertainty times. And lastly, you have learned how to use the combined reporting and export data in the reporting. Again, to have more in-depth data and save time, because we know you spend time on the reporting, and combining the feature and allowing you to export the reporting saves you a lot of time. Thank you for your attention.
So as a reminder, you will be able to find our all the replays on the WeYield YouTube channel. Okay, that is available directly on WeYield YouTube, and last Christian's presentation will also be available in the next few days. Thank you very much for this participation, and please join us on Thursday morning for James' preparation presentation, talking about the recent super peak period that happened in Caribbean islands, in order to get some learnings and some observations, so potentially anticipate what will happen for the summer to come in some other areas of the world. So join us on Thursday morning, same time at 10 a.m. Paris time.
Thank
Wish
you
you a good day.
for attending. Have a great day.
Voilà. Have a good day to you all. Bye-bye.